of expression that were used in this play. And I started to begin to think about when they start to dance, where did they learn that from? Those types of dances, where did they get that from? We still do those types of things. We still create. We still blow our own minds. I don't know if I'm expressing that in the way that I want to, but there's still a way that we can make a connection from this particular time period and pick it up. All of this story, everything that is happening here, pick it up and put it in today. The slave catchers with those dogs, those are sirens. That's still happening every single day. And so I begin to cry when I hear the dogs in the back, and when I just think about how this piece could be me still today. That's powerful to me.
Are you guys part of the creative team?
No.
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 What did you say?
I run a publication called Broadway Black. So Broadway Black is a platform that highlights African Americans on and off the Broadway stage. It's a digital community that I created about 5 years ago. I'm originally from Indiana. I went to Ball State University. I studied musical theater and public relations. And the reason why I created Broadway Black was because of the fact I was the only black male in my program. It was very difficult for me to find material for my juries, for my voice lessons, for my acting classes, for my movement classes. It was very difficult for me to find things that I could rest inside of my body and really live throughout, because that's what I was there for. And so in order for me to do that, I had to do a lot of research, and I kept wondering, why is this not all in one space? Why do I have to dig so far where my counterparts do not have to do that? It was devastating to me. I did not even finish school because it was such a tumultuous time for me. I was self-medicating. I was going through anxiety and depression and had no idea what it was. I was drinking a 211 and smoking a blunt every night just to sleep, and picking up the next day just to pick up and do it all over again. And so I had to figure out a way to get all of these things inside of my head and all these research that I had done and put it in one place because somebody else needed it too. So I started this platform to be able to do that. And I still have not gotten the vision out of my head as far as what I see, but we're making progress. And that's what I do. And so I've gone on this journey over the past 5 years, and I've encountered people like Danye, and I've encountered people like Sheldon, and I've encountered people like Sahin. And that's how I'm connected to this community.
Well, you're to be congratulated.
Oh, thank you.
That's a powerful thing. And your analogy of the dogs as sirens contemporarily is brilliant.
Thank you.
With all due respect, this is feeling more though about you guys than it is, and your response to the play, than it is a talkback between the audience and
well, that's what.
people.
Well, that's what's happening.
Bringing the play to us.
Well, that's part of the reason why, as an organization, MTC has decided to, experiment with a format.
Okay.
This is a conversation, and now the conversation is going to open up to all of us. But I have one thing that I want us to do, because I saw this for the first time on Tuesday, and you've seen it a bunch of times this week, and one of the things that's really resonated with me today was just the use of breath within the show. So as we transition to this next level, can y'all do something? Can we all just take a breath together collectively? Just yeah. Let's share. Yes.
Yeah. I think the play is brilliant. And guys, it works on so many levels. You don't have to be black to know what it's like to be. You don't have to be gay to know what that guy went through with that bitch. You could be a straight white person, a straight white older person, and still come across personalities like that. I mean, I just want to get that across. That's why it works as a play. It's so. Because we can experience it's the human situation, and yes, it was horrible that era, but we can all relate to it because other people also really have felt these things.
Well, I think that speaks to the brilliance of what of Danya's writing.
Yes.
Your point about the passive kind of resistance to get through 250 years of slavery, that the intercommunication with the slaves to each other without really confronting out with the situation, like songs like Coming Home and that kind of thing, where it has double meaning and yet gets accepted, you know, by the white community. And it's a kind of passive resistance that was passed on for 250 years. It's an incredible amount of time.
It wasn't just passive resistance, there were many, there were a couple of hundred rebellions.
Yes.
We don't know about. Most of us don't know about. So when, just passive resistance.
No, Nat Turner.
By all
Nat
means.
Turner was one of more than 200 rebellions.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Johnny, for writing this important piece. Thank you for that Theater Club for producing it. My name is Dr. Rome Fraser. I'm a playwright, and I remember John Ye when he self-produced, wrote, and directed his own plays in Philadelphia. And it just makes me so proud to be a U.S. citizen to know that dreams can come true, and also playwrights can have their work produced here. Different plays of, yes, we have.
Yeah, no, for real.
Plays speak to different people for different reasons. And for me, this play, what spoke to me in this play is the power of Henry's resisting. And I think I shared this with John Ye, but it was just bloomed when I saw the play. And the message of this play, I think I want to write about this. This play speaks to the Me Too movement and the ways in which white women replace the white male patriarch in terms of punishing men for not responding to their advances. And I think I could write a whole 500 pages.
Please do, because I will read that.
How, Henry, and for me also the strength, two things. One is that. The second is the whole play, most of the play, Stephanie Berry's performance of Mama. I was thinking a lot about her sexuality. It's totally silenced, how she had to suppress it, watching other young people enjoy, have sex, watching Maddie, come into her sexuality, and all the time I'm wondering, what about Mama's sexuality? Who does she want to sleep with? Who can she sleep with? Who wants to sleep with her? And for me, Felicia Rashad talked about Ruby Dee performing Julia in Alice Childress's play, and that having a deep effect on her being a director. Me watching Stephanie Berry, and just thinking about Aunt Mama's sexuality and narrating so straightforwardly at the end of the play, her own, this is a young boy that she watched from birth, having to narrate that. So, I'm narrating to you his death because it is the death of my own sexuality. It is the death that it was required to survive. That kind of death that Stephanie Berry played is what really, for me, makes me want to come back to New York from DC for 4 hours just to see that kind of performance from Stephanie Berry.
Bravo!
Yeah. Can I just speak to that really quick? Because this is the 5th preview. Previews usually, for those of you who aren't that familiar with theater, it's time to figure it out. I mean, the nuance in these performances, they feel like they've been performing this show for a long time, in the best possible way. Like 5 previews, and to feel that, and I will remember that. I saw it on Tuesday, and I had a moment with her after. I had to stop her. I was like, I will remember this performance for the rest of my life.
And they are still playing with the dynamics. Even from seeing the show a couple of different times, there's some changes in pace. There's some changes in just in beats, and it sort of changes the way you feel. It sort of changes the way the audience reacts in a way too, because this audience reacts differently. I mean, each audience does react differently, but because of the changes, there was laughter at certain places. There was uncomfortableness in certain places, and I thought that was beautiful because you were able to discover new things. You were able to hear things differently.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What struck me about this play was family, the idea of family and the human family, and the fact that they were not connected as biological family, but they were a family, and the joy in this play. There was a lot of moments of laughter that you just mentioned, and There were moments that I was shocked, but the joy in this horrible situation is amazing. And that's really an amazing playwright and amazing actors.
For him to put those places in there, to give you those breaks, but still be able to understand what's happening is, like you said, brilliant. I mean, because we needed those times. We needed that release at certain points during the show because it was so heavy. It is so heavy. And so, thank you, Danya.
Bravo.
We have time for one more. In the back. Oh, hi.
Hi. I'm filled with so much right now, so much gratitude. I'm in awe of you all. But something I just want to speak to really quickly, or I'm gonna try to speak to.
Do it.
I heard someone over here say something about you don't need to be black to understand this play. You can be a straight, white older person. This is a human experience, and I have to say that is true. Humans, we all experience loss, we experience love, we experience sex, we experience grief. That is the human, all of that is a part of the human condition. But this story specifically is about black queerness.
Right.
And when someone says that that's what makes it a good play, it makes me feel erasure. And it bothers me a little bit,
Because it was meant for you.
Yes, and let me have that, So, yes, humans, we experience all of this, but like, let's not take away from this world like that. Anyway,
No.
Yeah.